In this video, I'm going to show you how to work with speed, slowing and fastening things up. So to begin with, the last time we ended, we were doing transition from the surfer, who had a blur on it in the beginning, and transitioning out of here. And then the jellyfish would come in. So before we get to the speed, let's again review the opacity and working a little bit with the luminary presets. So the bird flying, that is the one that is highlighted in white, so that's the one that's selected. We're going to come over here to opacity, and you can already see we have keyframes up here. So we're going to do another one, put one there, and then we're going to scroll over to the end. Perfect. So we have the jellyfish going here. So now I'm going to be on the jellyfish. And what I want to do is come over to my luminary color here, and I want to go to vignette. Maybe I want the ends to be a little bit more darkish, so I can do that. So this will make it lighter, this will make it darker. You can work with midpoints as well, so you can see that it's a light circle going in there. So if you want to highlight anything just very lightly, or darken anything very lightly, there's a great understanding to there. This is just getting rid of the roundness almost, and instead of just working on the corners, hitting all those. And then if we want to feather that a little bit, just to soften that, the darkness and the lightness. So that's how you can work with the vignette. Again, curves, much like Photoshop, we can make something brighter or darker. We can add points in. So those are all effects that you want to be wary of, but they can work. All right, now let's get to the speed. So I'm going to right click on my jellyfish, so command click. And I'm going to come down here to show clip keyframes. And I'm going to come to time, remapping, and speed. Now there is a speed duration, and you can do several things with this. So if you just wanted to speed something up twice as fast, you can put in 200%, and that will affect the whole thing. If you want to make it half the speed, go ahead and put 50% in. You can also reverse the speed and work with that. I don't like this one as much just because I would like more control over it, and that's what time remapping does for you. So I'm just going to push cancel there. Also, what you can do is you can come over here and work with these ripple edit tools, and you can work with the rate stretch, the R, and what that will do, you can extend it and you can also shorten it, and it should not affect the other things that are around it. Everything should maybe not slip into place, like you'll have to reorganize a little bit, but it won't delete anything. Where if you do speed duration, the clips around it should line up with everything else and should slide into place. So just be aware of that. The speed duration, if you right click on here, should slide everything into place. If you come over here and work with a little white arrow there, the rate stretch, you might have to align some things again. But again, I like the time remapping. This is one where if you wanted to do fast and slow at the same time, which I'd like to, that's what I'm going to be doing. So what that does, it puts like a purple band in there. And so if I make this bigger, it goes from purple, and then it has white, and then it has this gray. And so you see this white little band in here, and that's going to be your speed changing. And so if I come over here, and I'm just going to swing some of these up to time remapping. So let's see here. This is where it really starts to show. So I'm going to come here, and I'm going to go ahead and move this up. And if it's past 100, that means it's going like twice the speed. So we're at 200, so it's twice the speed there. And I'm going to go ahead and keep that keyframe here at 100%. And then I'm going to come here where it really shows. And I'm going to go ahead and move that up. And you can see here I moved my playhead, but I didn't move my points. So this is changing right there. So what I can do, I can take this little playhead here, this little keyframe, and I can split it. So you see what's happening there? It's splitting. So this way it's growing, and then you get handlebars, and you can work with maybe how you want that to grow. Very much like After Effects in that way. You can put a little bit more into that. So if we look here, slowly speeding up, speeding up, speeding up. And then we'll come here. We'll add another one, and we're going to drop it all the way down. Play super slow. And I might split that a little bit, but that's all I really want. I want a very quick wet transition so you can see that. Maybe that's a little too slow, so we'll just go ahead and bring that up a little bit. So if you want to work with that, that's a fun way to do that. And remember, you can split these keyframes here. So sometimes you can get it there. It's honestly actually easier, I think, if you're actually working in the timeline and working with that. And that just helps with transitioning with that. And then for the last one, I'm going to add one more here. And then I'll bring it back up to around 100. So that's where that purple naturally is. And I'll let that play out. I'm going to bring those up so they don't really touch. And then I'm going to come here and shorten my timeline by drawing these out. And it's a long clip. So again, we're transitioning from the birds. Working with that opacity, nice. A little bit fast there. Slowing down. And again, this is right click, go all the way to the bottom. Show clip keyframes and go to time remapping. You can of course do the other two, that is totally fine as well. Time duration if you right click, or if you come here and use your rate stretcher, you can do that too. But there's several ways to do it. I honestly prefer time remapping again, just because it gives me the most power, because it's the only one really that lets me add keyframes to help edit the speeds. If you want everything one speed, a little bit faster, a little bit slower, go ahead and do that time duration or do that restretch. And so if you pull it out longer, it's going to be slower. If you bring it in, it's going to be faster. And that's totally fine. And then I'm going to come here to my razor C. I'm going to, let's just cut this off. Hit V so I can go to my selection. Move this away, make sure it's highlighted, and then that. And then I'm going to save. After everything I do, I try to save just to make sure I don't lose anything. There's a lot going on in this program, a lot of heavy files, so just be aware of that. Be smart about saving and save often, just in case. But, yep, and then there you go. You can see it getting a little bit faster and going back to normal speed. And there you go. That is how you work with speeding and slowing things up in multiple ways, as well as working with the luminary color and working with the vignette, which can really help tell the story.